Oh yeah? Well, I got a Tandy 1000 RLX. Yeah, but it's no Coco. Ooh. Alright, what I got here is a pair of Tandy 1000 RLXs. You see there, Tandy 1000 RLXs. Just a kind of brief overview of these two computers. They are named the same, but they are a little different inside, and we'll go through and show you that. And there's some different features on them. So when you're buying these used, just some pointers and kind of help you out when you're choosing which one to buy. Now, just if you didn't know, the RLXs they came with and without a hard drive. If they came without a hard drive, they came with about half the RAM. If they came with a hard drive, they had the full 1 megabyte of RAM. And let me turn these around to give you a better idea. Let me pause here. All right, I got these turned around. So on the top here, if you look at the serial numbers on the back, you'll see that this is a what is that, 251453, but on the bottom you got a 251453B. So that's one thing that you'll notice when you're trying to buy these. Just check what the model number is. And another quick way to tell them apart is the joystick size. And you can see the joystick ports are different on these. So this is Tandy 1000 RLX, which is sometimes referred to as the A version, but there'll be no number or no letter designation after this. And these ones are usually referred to as the B version. And they came either with or without hard drive in both versions. So you could have an A version without hard drive and a B version without hard drive. And the other difference is the A version, like I'm just calling it A, that's what people call them, but there'll be no designator after the 1453, is it'll have the large size joysticks. And these ones you could use the Coco or the regular Tandy 1000 computer joysticks for these. You know, it's compatible. However, the B version, it has the new style, and there are not very many joysticks out there for these. I think one that looks like an airplane controller, and that you couldn't use the old, Coco 3 style, TSR80 style. These as an upgraded style. Nobody really supported this, so they only really had one joystick from my knowledge, and it's kind of clunky. But everything else is pretty much the same. It's just the things are in different spots, the different outputs, but everything's the same except for that joystick controller. That changed between the A version and the B version. And there are also differences inside. And I'm gonna go ahead and pull these covers off, put them side by side, and show you those differences. All right, I got these two computers side by side, the A version and the B version. And from this distance, you can see there's obvious differences inside of these. The A version has this card here. This is where the joysticks plug in, and it has a little riser. So there's a socket down here that plugs into, or connector. And the B version does not have that. It just has some ribbon connectors coming up. Everything else is pretty much the same. The A versions will have the older hard drives in. They're still 1.4 megabytes. These will have a little bit updated 1.44 megabyte, basically the same. The B versions have a off-the-shelf VGA, and the B version has what looks like a Radio Shack version, maybe. I forget, A6 chip, I guess that's what they call these at the time. A little less circuitry. I'll clear some other stuff out of here so you can get a better look. All right, I pulled the floppy and the hard drive out, so you can just kind of have a better look at these boards. Get a little extra light in here. Really not too much to really look at. This is the A version. Memory chips are here. Here's your BIOS, hard drive controller, microprocessor. There's your 10 megahertz AMD 286. Not much. One expansion port. To go over to the A, or the B one. That's the B. Same stuff. Like I said, a little bit different VGA controller, same microprocessor, 10 megahertz. Here's your RAM chips. If it didn't come with a hard drive, these will be socketed. You can still kind of find these on eBay here and there and add your 1 megabyte of RAM. But yep. The other problem is which I'll talk to you next. I'll pause it and then get that little example. All right. So I got this example here. The hard drives in these they're getting old, and a lot of them you find out on the internet are broke. They'll say, oh, power's on, boots up, but you'll see it'll have an error screen on the monitor. That's usually the hard drive's gone bugger. And so there's a lot of kits out there that let you add these compact flash cards. It's a, I guess up to 2 gigabytes, 16-bit, and this one's from Lowtech. I think that's where it's from. But anyways, these are readily available. This is it's an 8-bit to 16-bit. So when you connect these two together, you can basically turns this 16-bit into an 8-bit, which the Tandys can read. They work great in RLs and even the RLXs, but only the A versions. They're a royal pain in the butt to get functioning on the B versions when you don't have a hard drive. These, if you are not familiar with these, I could do a tutorial on how to get these all set up, but they just plug in your expansion port and they become a very, very fast hard drive. This will speed this computer up a lot because of the transfer speeds are so much faster than your hard drive. Pretty much works out of the box on your A version. You don't need a hard drive in there at all. Thing's really quiet. Works like a champ. Move over to the B. Yeah, it plugs in, but it will not recognize it unless you have a hard drive that's spinning and working in here. And then the BIOS kicks in. It replaces the BIOS that's on here now and allows it to use this ISA port as an that controller. I'm not a real computer geek. I just play one on TV, but. I have not been able to find anybody that knows how to get this to work on an RLX B version. That's the one that doesn't have the big controllers on it without a hard drive. It only works if you have a working hard drive. And that sucks if your hard drive broke because it'll quit working. I'm putting a call out if anybody knows how. My next step is to maybe try to fool this hard drive controller into thinking that the hard drive's there. I'm not sure. A lot of people say if I pull this BIOS out, it'll work, but then you're losing functions on your board. The A drive doesn't work anymore, so you can't go that route. So I'm not sure. I'll keep working on it, let you know what I find out. But that's the Achilles heel, I guess, of this. If you're planning on using a compact flash on a B version, you're going to have trouble if you do not have a hard drive in there. It's just odd, but a hard drive works great. So I've heard it said it's because you're not able to disable the IRQ5, one of the interrupts on these. So it needs this hard drive to recognize that and run the replacement BIOS that's out there. So if anybody knows or anybody was successful, please pass on the information. I got a couple of these I'd like to set up, and that's about all I have for these. So right now I'm still kind of using this style. This setup works great with the Lowtech compact flash card and without a hard drive on it, and that pretty much takes over the hard drive. And this one I haven't been successful with. The B versions, the A versions will come out with it's a lower DOS. I think it's like DOS 3.3. The later B versions, you can run DOS 5.0, but I do run DOS 6.2.2 on this, and with a little bit of adjustments, like it has just as much room, doesn't eat as much memory as the 5. But you do have to do a little bit of work to get it to not eat as much of your memory, DOS 6.2.2. But anyways, this is what I got so far. Just give you a little bit of tips when you're purchasing an RLX and what you're planning to do with it, and some of the hurdles you might run into. this concludes this video. Any questions, make a comment, please subscribe, and the more people that subscribe, make comments, I'll focus more on these. Maybe I'll do more work on those. I also kind of work on the old school RC cars and stuff. I'm always tinkering here down in the lab. Have a good day.